Number rules the universe. Learn to be silent. Let your quiet mind listen and absorb. Never trust a friend who speaks bad of his comrades. The highest goal of music is to connect one's soul to their divine nature, not entertainment. As long as man continues to be the ruthless destroyer of lower living beings, he will never know health or peace. For as long as men massacre animals, they will kill each other. Man, know thyself. Then thou shalt know the universe and God. God built the universe on numbers. In anger we should refrain both from speech and action. No one is free who has not obtained the empire of himself. No man is free who cannot command himself. Concern should drive us into action and not into a depression. No man is free who cannot control himself. Silence is better than unmeaning words. Be silent, or let thy words be worth more than silence. Learn silence. With the quiet serenity of a meditative mind, listen, absorb, transcribe, and transform. No man is free who cannot control himself. Number is the ruler of forms and ideas, and the cause of gods and demons. It is better to be silent than to dispute with the ignorant. The oldest, shortest words, yes and no, are those which require the most thought. There is geometry in the humming of the strings. There is music in the spacing of the spheres. Do not go to bed until you have gone over the day 3 times in your mind. What wrong did I do? What good did I accomplish? What did I forget to do? A wise man should be prepared for everything that does not lie within his control. Rest satisfied with doing well, and leave others to talk of you as they please. The beginning of every government starts with the education of our youth. Let exercise alternate with rest. The stone is frozen music. Above the cloud with its shadows, the star with its light. Above all things, reverence thyself. Reason is immortal, all else mortal. If you're asked, what is the silence? Respond, it is the first stone of the wisdom's temple. Number is the within of all things. None but God is wise. Don't try to cover your mistakes with false words. Rather, correct your mistakes with examination. Friendship is one soul into bodies. The stars in the heavens sing in music. If only we had ears to hear. The stars in the heavens sing in music. If only we had ears to hear. Geometry is knowledge of the eternally existent. Wisdom, thoroughly learned, will never be forgotten. A thought is an idea in transit. There is no word or action but has its echo in eternity. Salt is born of the purest parents, the sun and the sea. The soul of man is divided into 3 parts: intelligence, reason, and passion. Intelligence and passion are possessed by other animals, but reason by man alone. Music is the harmonization of opposites, the conciliation of warring elements. As soon as you awake, in order lay the actions to be done the coming day. Choose always the way that seems the best, however rough it may be. Custom will soon render it easy and agreeable. Astonishing, everything is intelligent. Alas, what wickedness to swallow flesh into our own flesh, to fatten our greedy bodies by cramming in other bodies, to have one living creature fed by the death of another. Thus weakens both body and mind. Choose rather to be strong of soul than strong of body. Time is the soul of this world. Truth is so great a perfection, that if God would render himself visible to men, he would choose life for his body and truth for his soul. Speak not, nor act before thou hast reflected. Animals share with us the privilege of having a soul. Educate the children and it won't be necessary to punish the men. A man is never as big as when he is on his knees to help a child. The wind is blowing, adore the wind. Anger begins in folly and ends in repentance. Do not talk a little on many subjects, but much on a few. Government exists only for the good of the governed. Remind yourself that all men assert that wisdom is the greatest good, but that there are few who strenuously seek out that greatest good. So in life, some enter the services of fame and others money, but the best choice is that of those few who spend their time in the contemplation of nature, and as lovers of wisdom. If you have a wounded heart, touch it as little as you would an injured eye. There are only two remedies for the suffering of the soul: hope and patience. Numbers have a way of taking a man by the hand and leading him down the path of reason. Strength of mind rests in sobriety, for this keeps your reason unclouded by passion. We are so to behave to one another as to avoid making enemies of our friends, and at the same time to make friends of our enemies. As soon as laws are necessary for men, they are no longer fit for freedom. Practice justice in word and deed, and do not get in the habit of acting thoughtlessly about anything. Assist a man in raising a burden, but do not assist him in laying it down. Friends are as companions on a journey, who ought to aid each other to persevere in the road to a happier life. Don't disarrange my circles. Thought is an idea in transit, which when once released, never can be lured back, nor the spoken word recalled. None can be free who is a slave to, and ruled by, his passions. Declining from the public ways, walk in unfrequented paths. Ride in the sound of falls of your friend. Let no one persuade you by word or deed to do or say whatever is not best for you. Practice restraint over the falling, appetite, thirst, as well as sleep, lust, and anger. He buries gold who hides the truth. Allow not sleep to close your eyes before 3 times reflecting on your actions of the day. What deeds done well, what not, what left undone. Bless us, divine number, who generated gods and men. Number contains the root, the source of eternally flowing creation. Do not despise anyone, an atom shadowing. The octave formed a circle and gave our noble earth its form. Every man has been made by God in order to acquire knowledge and contemplate. Wealth is a weak anchor, and glory cannot support a man. This is the law of God, that virtue only is firm, and cannot be shaken by a tempest. Don't eat your heart. When the wise man opens his mouth, the beauties of his soul present themselves to the view, like the statues in a temple. Above all, have respect for yourself. Instruct thyself, for time and patience favor all. Do not even think of doing what ought not to be done. A blow from your friend is better than a kiss from your enemy. Love that shines from within cannot be darkened by obstacles of the world of consequences. There are in woman's eyes 2 sorts of tears, the one of grief, the other of deceit. Without justice, no realm may prosper. It is difficult to walk at one and the same time many paths of life. Respect gods before demigods, heroes before men, and first among men your parents, but respect yourself most of all. As the sea crab swimmeth always against the stream, so doth wit always against wisdom. Ability and necessity dwell near each other. Step not beyond the beam of the balance. Govern your tongue before all other things, following the gods. It is required to find the infinitely big inside what's infinitely small to feel the presence of God. Despite all those things which when liberated from the body you will not want. Invoke the gods to become your helpers. The experience of life in a finite, limited body is specifically for the purpose of discovering and manifesting supernatural existence. We ought not to quit our post without the permission of him who commands. The post of man is life. We come from God, as the tree from the root and the stream from the spring. That's why we should always be in contact with him, as the trunk from the root, because the stream dries up when it is separated from the spring and the tree dies when it is uprooted. Having departed from your house, turn not back, for the Furies will be your attendants. You should make great things, not promising great things. Truth is to be sought with a mind purified from the passions of the body. Having overcome evil things, thou shalt experience the union of the union mortal divinity with the mortal man. You should help a man to take up a burden, but you should not help him put it back down.